Hey guys, welcome to On the Beat weekly podcast. On the Beat is all about giving young people a voice. We explore all the interesting topics that affect us in the world today. So come, listen, enjoy, and be inspired.
On the beat, on the beat.
So this is Brent Balfour, your host for On the Beat podcast. I hope you all are good out there and everything is looking up and not down, right? So wherever you are in the world, I hope my voice and my partner in crime, my cousin Jeremy, we want to welcome Jeremy, right?
Yes.
And I'm sure he's hoping the same for you all as well, that you are looking up and not down. What's up, Jeremy?
What's up? Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it a lot, man.
Long time not see, boy.
Yeah, bro. the borders are all closed up, man.
Exactly. We can't see each other. The borders are all closed up. And it's a pleasure to have you on the podcast, Jeremy. And today we would be piggybacking on the last episode where we talk about young people and music. And guys, Jeremy is all about music. So Jeremy, tell us a little about yourself.
All right, so yeah, as Brent said, I'm all about music. That's kind of what I decided to chase after career-wise after high school. I did go to college for a little bit, and I took video production. I haven't finished that program yet. I decided to take time away from it and really just focus on music, and it's been going pretty well for the past like 5 or 6 years. I work with some local artists around here, Looney. So if you want to check out her socials, it's Looney Moonchild on Instagram. Her Spotify is Looney. And then I work with another artist named John Vinyl, and his stuff is all John Vinyl. But yeah, I've kind of made my way, I guess you could say, to somewhat stable means by really just focusing on live playing and then just kind of expanding and branching off of that after that.
That's great. That's great to hear, Jeremy. So young people in today's society, music, I mean, we have heard of history of music and young people from the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. I mean, I should say the foundation of music, you understand? And now music have evolved into a new style, I should say a kind of talking style. It's more real, meaning they're spelling out everything.
Yes.
And so it's not really polite. It's no longer polite.
It's definitely not polite. I'd say mainstream is not polite at all.
Exactly.
Not at all.
So young people who were born in this generation look to pursue music, whether they like it by just listening to it, whether they want to pursue it as an artist or as a musician, right? Or even a song engineer, or even a manager, right?
Yeah.
So we could even put in producer inside there and other stuff. We could go on and on and on and
Stage tech, lighting tech, like yeah.
So we want to look at an international sense of what's going on with young people and the pursuit of music. Let's say they are a musician or a singer. How easy or how hard it is, Jeremy, seeing that you are in Canada, how hard it is or how easy it is up there to pursue your dream or your passion, basically?
I'd say it's hard, but it gets easier. And I wouldn't say like based on workload, but I think there's like little like I guess you could say checkpoints that I kind of set with myself that kind of make me not excited, but like happy that I've accomplished those goals. So I try and keep long-term goals, like goals that are very hard to reach, and then some goals that aren't as hard to reach that just help me to keep going. Because a lot of the time, like young people especially, there are so many people making music right now. Like making music and making videos in this generation it's insane. And everybody has access to it, right? Like everybody can make music. Everybody knows how to download it.
Is it a congested industry?
It is, but there's room for everyone everywhere. And that's the thing. Like I was just speaking with some friends, and we were talking about like how these distributing companies and stuff have to change their approach, and now they're looking for stories to sell. It doesn't matter anymore about like huge streams and like all of that, bro. They need a story, and that's how you'll get out. People love a story. Like Billie Eilish, I think it was, that had done her album All at Home or something like that, and like got a Grammy. Like that story pushed her, you know what I mean? Like that's nuts.
Yeah.
Like her and her producer, I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, they did it all at home and ended up getting a Grammy for that album. Like they've really been pushing stories. So I think it's really important to just embrace your story of however it is that you get there, and be willing to not go away from your goals or steer away from your goals, but to maybe learn something that might not have been in your direct like line, so that you can create your own path. That's what I would say. So it's hard. It's hard.
So what would you tell someone when it gets hard? They now start up, they're 6 months into it, and it feels like there's no flow into it. They may trying to fine tune their talents and seeking the best pathway to pursue this dream. What would you tell them when it gets hard, especially at the start?
So are we speaking about musicians solely, or like artists as well?
Yeah, artists as well.
Okay, so I'll speak about musicians first, because that's like predominantly what I am, and then I'll speak about like how my friends talk about being an artist. So musician wise, I'd say a great way to get like past that slump is to be working with people. It doesn't matter at what level that they're at, just try and get in with a group of people you love being around and that are driven. That'll help you improve a lot. It'll help with a support system. You guys can bounce ideas off of each other. You can learn a lot from each other that way. If you don't have that already and you're in a hard place, I would say keep pushing, but don't be afraid to take the day off and do something else. If it's a lack of like lack of creativity or like a lack of motivation, those are things that you have to like work. Those are muscles that you have to build, right? Like if you're just 6 months into it, it's going to take time to where you can do these things like right away, consistently, again and again and again. It's a lot of reps.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because I've known in my new newsletter, what is coming out maybe later on this week, I've been talking about community, having that community, being there for someone, having that support system is so vital. Otherwise, somebody will get wrong.
Very much so. Very much so.
And it goes for all walks of life, all the industries.
And everything, bro. You need a relationship in everything.
And the idea, I think the tricky thing is to get the right set of people, because it may have people who might wish you well, right? But they don't have the skill sets to push you. And those who have the skill set may want to rip you off in the long run. So it's a ticklish thing. How can I choose my inner circle to push through? And I think us as young people, we tend to falter in that area. Sometimes they win, sometimes they fall, sometimes they win, sometimes they get through.
Yeah. I mean, if I could speak on like choosing the right group, from both perspectives, I could say in some cases I've been that guy that's been out to get someone or get something for someone, right? But I think the growth that I've faced over lost relationships and relationships that were like the opposite, where I felt like I was ways ahead. it's the thing that's in common in both of them is that like staying humble. Number one, that's a huge thing. That'll keep you in rooms. That'll get you in rooms. That'll open up crazy amount of opportunities. Is like that key. Like, okay, stay humble. And then another one that's really good is to work on yourself first, because this industry, if you don't know like yourself well and understand yourself well, like there's going to be so many highs and lows that it will take a toll on you. Like you really need to have like a really solid mental health. That's a huge thing.
I think it will need also that team to be able to get up every single morning. And sometimes, like how in the Bible talks about David encouraged himself in the Lord.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't have that strength to even encourage yourself when you get up in the morning. And at times, for example, myself, I would get up in the morning and I would think about the amount of stuff I'll have to do. And it's like, or especially when you don't have the motivation or you're not getting that passion to write or to sing or to play or whatever. And it's like, okay. Talk to yourself. Mm-hmm. I can do this. I could do this.
Yeah, literally. It's super important to have the relationship too. And then like another thing, like getting into, I guess it's not like super biblical, but it's more of like a what's the word I'm looking for? Like a principle, kind of like a biblical principle is like sowing those seeds and waiting for that harvest, like for that season of harvest. It might be a long time.
Yeah.
But if you keep sowing those seeds of a little bit of practice, you won't see it day to day, like especially for certain things that you're trying to accomplish. But like, I can honestly say that sometimes it's weeks for me. And I find most recently, like it's been like a good week, 3 weeks, and I can really see growth. But like some things, they'll take some time. So just keep putting that little chisel at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So youth and music, I have seen a lot of young people coming through, musicians. Like talk about musicians. I'm a musician. You are a musician. I think I can't compare ourselves, me and you, because we are from two different cultures. So I can't say I'm better than Jeremy. You know, you have to look up to me, that kind of stuff. And then too, you have played for real proper professionals, and I've seen y'all do practice sessions and so on, and it's intense, right? And the thing about young people today, you talk about humility. The thing about young people today, we tend to have that lack of patience when it comes to practice time and perfecting your craft. And I, as a musician, every single day, it becomes more of a passion than a routine for me.
Yeah.
So therefore, I think that makes it easier when it becomes a passion rather than a routine. So you wouldn't see it as a job, but you would see it as almost like pleasure.
Something you love, something you love to do.
Yeah, you understand? So young people who are talented or who are trying to learn a new instrument or trying to get into that field, I remember trying a lot of stuff and failing at it. And until maybe God bless me, you could play drums, right? You could play the guitar, because I'm always fond of the guitar, and I'm not versed in the guitar, but I could survive. I wouldn't get killed over it. But
yeah.
But the thing is, I've seen working with young people, I've seen some of them have that desire to be that musician and to pursue. But then again, some of them have to rely on their parents, who might hold them back.
Yeah.
You understand? How can a young person be able to pursue their passion if they don't have that type of support?
That was me at one point, and I'm not even like, it's just nothing against my parents or ill-minded to them at all. I think it comes out of a place of care and wanting you to be stable and okay. It's hard to like, it's like at that age or like at that level, I don't think a lot of people realize how much it really takes and how much knowledge in different little aspects that you're going to need to have like a sustainable income. And it might seem like it's just the music, like from when you're watching all these concerts and tiny desks, and maybe you can play, but there's a lot more that goes into it. And I think our parents have been through more life and understand that. I wouldn't say they understand the industry, but they understand that it takes a lot more than what it seems like. So I had to do the first, I would say 2 or 3 years without like that full support. And then they started to see, okay, he's sticking with this clearly, and either we're going to support him or we're not. So that also happened though, I will say, after I was 18. So I was only able to do that after I was 18 because that was like my decision at that point. Like that's when legally I was my own, I don't know if entity is the right word, but like, you know what I mean? I would say that for people that have that passion that are young, to really look into the business aspect of things too. And then to also understand, like, you guys are so good and so smart and proficient at social media that like you should also understand how social media tries to grab you. Like a lot of these things that you see aren't the way that they seem. So try and get like the insight of why all these guys are playing these big gigs, like your favorite pop artists. Like, why is it that Justin Bieber's keyboard player plays with Justin Bieber, Snow Allegra, Lucky Day, blah, blah, blah. Like, figure out those things, go really deep and understand the business, because that's where you survive. Everybody can play. Once you get to a point, everyone can play. It's the business that'll set you apart. And then also, if I can talk a bit more, I know I'm rambling, but
go ahead.
Like there's also levels to it where like you don't need to be at Justin Bieber's band to live respectably. You can make a great living through music, there's different things that people don't really tell others about, but there's grants. Check out grants that go on in your place of living. If you have a studio space or like a room in your house that's specifically for music, register that, you get more grants. There's literally so many different things in the business aspects of things that you could really, really help yourself out with. If you register yourself as a business and pass your money through that's another, you can do things for tax write-offs. And so it's like learning a lot of business, but also understanding that you're going to have to live under what the regular popular social media people look like until you can get to those things. So
you hit a lot of points here, Jeremy, a lot of points. So let me see if I could go through some things that's went through my mind. So when you were talking about the question mark that your parents had, right? Quickly, I compared, is it right to compare music and comedy? You understand?
Yeah. I mean, it's any passion that isn't like their generation, right?
Yeah.
Their generation, they didn't have a choice. It's like you're going to school, you're gonna finish school, and you're doing your job for the rest of your life. That was it.
That's right. I remember in high school, I was passionate of sports. I wanted to be in sports. I was good in soccer. I was good in basketball and cricket. So I came home one day and asked my dad for football boots because the one that I had kind of mashed up. He said to me, listen to me, sports won't get you nowhere. Books will get you somewhere. Forget about sports. After that, he never supported me. So I had to go behind his back and do sports. And I believe that there are young people out there who haven't had that support system because the parents are traditional or they have that question mark. Are they going to make it kind of question mark? And they are forced to go behind their parents' back to learn an instrument.
Which
to
is
be
like
part of the band. But I appreciate all parents, whether they have a question mark or whether they go full 100 and back up their child. And that is, I mean, it's better than abandoning your child on a whole. And at least you're supporting them. The next thing you hit, I started writing down and I stopped. The idea that what we see on social media is not, yes, it's the finished product, but you haven't seen the building up behind it, the hard work behind it, the long hours and days behind it, sleeping in the studio behind it. You understand?
Dude. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you have no, and honestly, you have no idea how some of these things like come to be, and you like hearing the stories like of some of them, and I'm not saying I know a lot, but like hearing some of the stories, I'm like, wow, wow. Like
I've watched some sets where they make movies, right, and the cameras and so on, and what they're doing behind the scenes and how they developing stuff. And I was like shocked because I want to go into that field and try my hand in that field. And yet I was like, all this is do behind the scenes, all this. And I was like, oh my goodness. And then I also had the opportunity to go in studios to sing or to support or to play, and even in practice times. And you have played in concerts. You know the amount of times. Tell me, okay, give us a quick rundown on what it takes to play one song.
Like practice-wise or like?
Practice-wise.
At like concert level is what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll do this. Okay, so let's say you're working just as like playing an instrument, you're not music directing or taking care of any of that stuff. Like you just get sent the stuff and you got to play it. Okay, so there's two ways this can go. You get sent all the music in the format that it's going to be played. You learn it basically note for note. You might have one walkthrough, one rehearsal, and then you're on. That's if like that's a pretty high up artist. Most of the time when that's going to happen, you're just for hire. If you're working consistently with an artist, you guys might have more time to work together to make the arrangements together. Yeah. So that could be a quick process or a long process, depending on who's strength, like the people's strengths and weaknesses in the group. If it's a long process, it could be like 5-hour rehearsals. And like you're sitting there and the artist could be very picky and be like, no, I don't like this. Can you change this? And they're also speaking to you not in musical terms. So you're like, But yeah, so it can go anywhere from like literally you're doing this all by yourself at home and coming on the day of.
Yes.
To like, okay, we're doing every minute of this in rehearsal and you're going to go home and rehearse it. And it better be exact, like, yeah, it's one of the two. Wow.
And the thing is that song have to be embedded into your system, not just into your. I ain't talking about into your laptop. I'm talking about into your system.
Yeah.
That it would be easy to play. Or so worse yet, if you have to play for 45 minutes, that's like that's like.
It's like about 10 songs.
10 songs, yeah. Woo. Jeez.
Yeah.
Is it harder to play in a concert or for a concert or to play in, let's say, in a church where you see with worship leaders and performers, I find they are two different things. Because worship leaders may go off the plan,
Yeah.
right? Yet performers will stay with the plan mostly, 90% of the times. So I'm guessing the harder person to play for is a worshiper, is it?
I think it's
Or is
different.
it easier?
I think they can both be hard and they can both be easy, but it stretches different parts of like your musicianship in general. I'd say generally the musicianship is like for a church service is like attentiveness. You've got to deal with attentiveness and like dynamics and energy. Like those are the things that really matter in a church service, because that worship leader can go all the way up right away with just a hand signal, and like you gotta be there, you gotta have the right fills in mind that will work with this energy, like literally right then, versus like a concert where like that's probably not gonna happen. The person probably has it set out exactly where you're gonna build, like, so that stuff is just remembering formats and then being able to execute with nerves, because you're probably gonna be in a different environment, more, I wouldn't say judgy, but like people are kind of expecting something at a concert.
Yeah.
At church, it's a little bit different. Like it's like a group activity, I guess you could say. A corporate, like, yeah.
I think too there's levels to it though, because if you in a small organization for a small function or a small church service, the level of practice may not be the level of, let's say, elevation, or that level basically. And even for playing for concerts, if the concert is just, let's say, we're doing something for the kids, right? Versus, hey, we're doing something to launch my album.
Yeah.
So I think it depends on the criteria would determine how hard it is to perform or to practice.
I agree. 100% I agree.
Yeah. But anyway, so we have run through as much as possible about young people and their pursuit of music. I mean, last week we touched on singers who are shy, who they have the talent, but yet they don't want to go after it, right?
Yeah.
And so last week we touched on that as well. And we touched on the pull of music. How can you stay in the positive end, right? Rather than in the negative end of music, the pull of music. And so today we have touched on generally being this professional, right? Pursuing professionalism in music industry. And I hope that this little podcast have helped young people out there who is pursuing music. One more thing, are you available? Let's say, can we put it out there that you might be available? Because I know you teach music as well. Do you still do that, Jeremy?
Yeah. So I've slowed down on that, honestly. And it's just because I thought, like, everything's locked up.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of took advantage of the time, working part-time. Almost the rest of the time, it's like focused on like me improving and like taking all this free time, because as you know, when things start back up, I am very busy. So I'm like, this is the perfect time to really focus on my development. But I would not be opposed to taking students, no.
All right. So how can students contact you?
You guys can
in Canada,
Yeah,
or
you guys-
it could be online. Do you teach online as well?
I do, yeah. So
Okay.
for contacts, you can Instagram me. I'm predominantly on that, but you can email as well. I'll leave both. So my Instagram, I'll send it to you after as well, but it's JEREMYRJOHN_. So that's my Instagram. can find me there, message me there if you have any more questions about anything. And then my email is jerjohndrums@gmail.com. jerjohndrums@gmail.com.
All right. Cool, Jeremy. If you can't remember that, you could see it on the screen right now, and also you could get in contact with On The Beat, and we would link up with Jeremy. Once you are in Jeremy area, right? That's it. We will link up with you, and even online. So therefore, because it's online as well, there is no barrier. There's no. You could be in Africa and still link up with Jeremy, or China and still link up with Jeremy. So that's cool, right? So Jeremy, my cousin, it was nice. It was a pleasure, boss. I hope to see you soon.
When these things open up, man.
Right now in Trinidad and Tobago, the Prime Minister have locked down the country for the entire year. For the rest of the year.
Yeah, man. See you 2022.
Oh
bro.
my goodness. He said only if things improve, then he may rethink. But for now, it's for the rest of the year.
Oh my goodness.
And right now, technically, I'm on vacation for the government. I can't go nowhere. I'm stuck, man.
A staycation, man.
Oh, what's happening with your Raptors?
Oh, listen. Don't kill me. I'm not a Raptors fan.
Oh.
I am not a Raptors fan. I have three favorite players: Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, Kevin Durant. So that makes me a Clippers and a Brooklyn. Yes, a Clippers and a Brooklyn Nets fan. That is me.
So Kevin Durant is not playing right now, so that means you are more a Clippers fan than a Nets
not at
fan.
all. Not at all. Not at all. I love both of them. I love both of the teams, to be honest. We just picked up Blake too. Ooh!
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I saw he made his first dunk in 2 years.
Yeah, bro. He just
crazy.
hasn't been trying. He has not been trying.
That's crazy. And finally, LeBron James injured. Sorry to say, but
Listen,
Lakers, I don't know what will happen for Lakers because they may drop down the standards.
If AD and LeBron are out for more than 3 weeks, bro,
it's goodbye to number 1 seed, number 2, 3, 4, and 5 seed.
they're in 6th easily. 3 weeks, 6th.
Yeah, definitely. Anyway, let's wrap up. Adios,
Yeah,
Jeremy.
Thank you again, brother.
Thank you for listening to On The Beat podcast. Feel free to share, follow, and subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, Facebook, and Instagram. Stay blessed, everyone.